The Denver Broncos just continue to make the rest of the NFL completely jealous, and that all started today, not at training camp, but at Camp Stiddy. We're going to break it all down and why it's fantastic news for the Denver Broncos moving forward, and really shows that Sean Payton has gelled this team together, that as he talks about a young, energetic core of individuals that reminds him of a college team, we're truly seeing it in a really novel and new way with Camp Stiddy. So let's break it all down here. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ben, diehard Denver Broncos fan. It helps me out a ton if you believe that the Denver Broncos have already hit rock bottom and we're bouncing to the top and you want to be here for it. If you could smash that like and subscribe button. So the big news of the day is, as we were waiting for training camp and news to start coming out, that Jarrett Stidham followed the mold that Peyton Manning followed when he did the throwing camp famously with Brandon Stokely and Demaryius Thomas, and he had all of his dudes show up, Eric Decker, all of the guys come out to Duke University where he threw with them and started to get the chemistry, and that's why he was able to hit the ground running even after his neck issues in Indianapolis. It was that offseason. And the cool part of that was, like, he did it kind of under the radar. He wasn't out there showboating. We know that when Russell Wilson first got to Denver, he also did a throwing camp, but it seemed more like a TikTok, YouTube highlight reel, and it was all for the clicks and slow motion video that got pumped out to social immediately after. We know that, like, Russell Wilson, his own teammates didn't get his actual cell phone number. If they wanted to contact him, they contacted his agent. And we just see a very different chemistry starting to evolve with these Denver Broncos with this winning culture. So Jarrett Stidham had all the boys, including a couple notables that we got to talk about, out to what they're calling Camp Stiddy. Stiddy is kind of a fun pet name that Sean Payton has for Jarrett Stidham. And so he lives in the Dallas area, and he had them all out, and they all ate dinner at his house last night, and then are throwing today at Texas Christian University at TCU. And the cool part about this is that it could seem like he's trying to, it's like an alpha power move, like it's my camp, Camp Stiddy. But the cool part is that he was very vocal about the fact that Bo Nix and Zac Wilson are going to be there. We know that Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham are both Auburn guys, and Bo Nix followed him at Auburn, and so you already start to see that chemistry. There's not a weird competition in it, and I think it's going to be crucial for Bo Nix's development to have a mentor. We've seen famous examples of, like, quarterbacks who don't gel well with the quarterback in front of them. I think the most notable one is Aaron Rodgers and Brett Farve, that they butted heads. Then Aaron Rodgers did the same thing with Jordan Love, and that wasn't good. And so I think this is going to be a lot more in the mold of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick and what he did with Tua Tagovailoa, or what Kurt Warner did with Eli Manning his rookie year. And so I think that's what we're seeing with Jarrett Stidham. So Bo Nix is there throwing. And one of the other really, really cool things is, as we're waiting to see how this whole Courtland Sutton thing is going to play out, Courtland Sutton is at Camp Stiddy now without a deal. And so that's a type of thing in my mind that, like, shows that he is here for this team and that he envisions being with the Denver Broncos at the start of the year, or he wouldn't be at Camp Stidham. If he thought he was on the trading block, if he was Brandon Ayuk, and we saw Brandon Ayuk, the disgruntled 49ers receiver, tweeting out and Instagramming out pictures of the Washington Commanders practice film. So I think what we see with Courtland Sutton is just a level of maturity there that you don't see there. So here it is, Jarrett Stidham talking about a month ago about this camp that's happening, and then we'll break down a little more about what we know about it and what I think it shows for the Broncos going forward.
You know, certain things I see, or, you know, one of the quarterbacks, like we talk about things in the meeting room that, you know, sometimes may not be able to get voiced out on the practice field at times. So it's able to, like, slow down a little bit, talk about certain things, and build that continuity.
So he's talking about, like, it's not about me commanding the starting job. He's saying, like, hey, this is going to help all of the quarterbacks in this room. And so what we're seeing here is that he is having several offensive teammates, including Bo Nix and Zac Wilson and Courtland Sutton, and then also some tight ends and some running backs all out there. And so it's all about team camaraderie, building that sense of, hey, common purpose, all of us together, and all of them kind of getting their reps in. We know Courtland Sutton missed all of OTAs, and so this is a fantastic chance for him to get more reps with those quarterbacks that he is going to be catching passes for come September when the season kicks off. And so we're seeing that. And the other cool part is hearing Courtland Sutton talking about wanting to be a Denver Bronco and saying that this isn't going to be a 3-year process to get better. We want to win right now, and we're going to win right now. And just looking, this is the mold Peyton Manning set. It's the mold that famously Russell Wilson also followed in his first year. He did not do one last year. I think he saw the writing on the wall with his future with Sean Payton. But very exciting to see how all of this goes. Hopefully we're going to be monitoring Instagram and Twitter to see some pictures from this, but I love the fact that they're doing this in silence. They're not out there trying to get clicks. They're doing this to actually get better. We know Lil Wayne, the famous poet of our time, said real G's move in silence like lasagna, and you don't need to be putting everything out there. They're really out there working on their own accord to get better, and that shows a fantastic sense of camaraderie. We know culture eats strategy for breakfast, and all of this kind of stuff is the Denver Broncos establishing a winning culture, and I think it is going to make the rest of the NFL extremely, extremely jealous. Other thing I just noticed super quick here as we're closing out, saw this pop up on my Twitter. So this was a Bo Nix play when he was with Auburn, and just seeing like that move the pocket and his ability to move. I just cannot believe this dude is on our team. Actually, like I remember watching this live. He's just making dudes miss. And I know in the NFL, you're not able to evade the sack like this, but he's just way more athletic than you would think he is. And then I want to show one of the plays from training camp that I think is showing Sean Payton wants to build on that idea of moving the pocket out and rolling Stidham out. And so we're seeing this right here. This is going to be a fixture of our offense this year. So something definitely to keep our eyes on. Watch with this play that they're intentionally moving the pocket out. And I just think that that's going to be a fantastic fit for Bo's skill set, that we remember just even watching the breakdown that was the other day. Jordan Palmer was talking about how Bo Nix actually had one of the most explosive, fastest times at Auburn, knowing that that's an SEC school, that he's a sneaky athlete. And so watching him in the rollout is going to be really, really cool to watch for sure. So my big question to y'all is, what is the position battle you are most excited about watching at training camp in 2 weeks here? We know that we have, obviously, quarterback battle is coming down the pike. And what do we think is going to happen? Is it Stidham? Is it Bo? Is it Zac Wilson? But we also have a couple other things, like what's happening with that center position. Is it, is it Wattenberg? Is it going to be Forsyth? Who's going to be our starting center? I think looking at the inside linebacker position, is it Jonas Griffith? Is it Cody Barton? What does that position shake out? Our cornerback position is going to be crazy interesting to watch. So I'm very curious. Drop me a comment. Tell me which positional battle at camp are you most excited to watch about? And what day are you going to be on the hill? So I hopefully can catch you all there. Either way, offseason is almost over. Camp Stiddy is going. And we got a lot to believe in. I got to make this one.